Miller on the right.
And to me, black-white mid-range has always been a response to mono-black. It's a lot of the same cards, but you get access to Blood Baron, and Elspeth, both of which are huge trumps in mirror-ish type matchups.
Yeah, seems like a huge favorite for the the black-white mid-range, normally when we've seen this play out. And let's walk through here. So Marriott's up a game with black-white mid-range. It looks like Marriott with a pair of pack rats here. He is discarding a Devour Flesh he's casting some Devour Fleshes, looks like to take care of Jeff Miller's pack rats.
Yeah, so very rare for someone to be able to get out from under pack rat in mirror-ish type matchups that don't involve BioBlight, but it looks like Nick's been able to cobble it together.
Both players with a Underworld Connections going, however, so it's one of those mono-black matches where they just both are going to sling kill spells at the other person.
Where it just goes on for a while.
I feel like these games, actually, where both players have the resolved connections, is where black-white mid-range becomes a huge favorite.
Yeah, and especially because you get access to Banishing Light, and you just have more powerful draws in your deck. To me, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, one guy's drawing Grey Merchants, while the other one's drawing Blood Barons and Elspeths. And I guess I'd rather be drawing Blood Barons and Elspeths. Well, Grey Merchant's good, but I would rather have Blood Baron.
There is a weird dynamic, though, where having access to Blood Baron is very powerful, but it does make their Lifebane zombies more powerful. I've seen that happen where mono black just curves with Lifebane zombie, and suddenly that card matters quite a bit.
Yeah. So we'll see. Miller is going to let Marriott untap here with those pack rats. I don't know if he had a choice in the matter. He does have in his hand a Desecration Demon, a Sign in Blood, another Underworld Connections, and at least one Swamp. Let's go ahead and Hero's Downfall a pack rat. This is in response to a Thoughtseize. If he had the second kill spell, I think he would have killed both rats last turn, but he certainly does not. Looks at the rest of the hand. Swamp, Swamp, Sign in Blood, Demon, Underworld Connections. Now, in talking through this, Miller, no desire to draw extra cards off that Underworld Connections. He's at 10. He tapped that Underworld Connections land to cast the Hero's Downfall.
Yep.
And Thoughtseize will take Sign in Blood.
Still a little odd. You think you'd at least want the option. I don't know if the colored mana situation is a bottleneck for him right now, but...
Yeah, he has a Temple of Malice in play as well as... He looks like he just has some off-color temples. 4 Temple of Malice?
Yeah, he's got four off-color temples.
Yeah, they're all red ones. I wonder if he has a single red card in his 75. Looks like no. They just chose the red ones.
Yeah.
I would have done one of each.
Oh, I like one of each quite a bit. They just don't know.
They don't know what you're up to.
He doesn't even have Nightveil Spectre, right? So it's just...
Nope. 4 Lifebane's main. No Nightveils. We see here Erebos, God of the Dead, made by Nick. He's opting for that. You'd originally think, hey, why is he not making more pack rats? Answer, I would say, is because, well, he's got another pack rat in his hand, and keeping Jeff off that Grey Merchant draw seems real important right now.
Erebos is just a nice hedge in this board, too, you know? You got to be worried a little bit about BioBlight if you push too hard on pack rat. Erebos allows you to diversify your assets a little bit. Get another attacker that's not susceptible to removal.
And not to mention, mono black, unlike black white, cannot get Erebos off the board once he's down. He's here to stay. We see from Jeff Miller, he's going to crash in, it looks like, with 2 Mutavaults. And Hero's downfalled that pack rat away. So Marriott's down to 11. Miller's at 9. Remember, Miller's, like I said, Miller's life points, these are his last 9.
Yep, not gaining anything.
If you're Nick, you have to worry. Grey Merchant is still your primary concern, right?
Yeah, it's still the scariest card.
All right, Desecration Demon is made there. Activates Erebos, swings in for 5. That knocks Miller down to 4. And 2 lethal attackers are waiting now on Nick's side. He has a pretty healthy life total going. Can Jeff Miller survive another turn? He's going to need some help.
Yeah, Erebos is now the Abyss, so just got to either cobble together chump blockers or keep Nick off devotion for the rest of the game, neither of which are going to be easy to do. To say nothing of the connections and the Desecration Demon and the multiple pack rats in Nick's hand.
Right. Well, I don't think Jeff has an answer right now, so we might see him go for those Underworld Connections one last time, see if he can get anything that deals with this board. But he needs, right now he'd need to draw a Grey Merchant. Then he'd have to activate, sack that Grey Merchant would chump, he'd have to sack that Mutavault to the Desecration Demon, and then draw another Grey Merchant on the following turn.
Yeah.
And I believe, oh, that still wouldn't do it. He doesn't have that many black mana symbols in play.
Yeah, just on the connections right now.
Yeah, it's not enough. He's going to scry before tapping the underworld connection, see what he can find here. And he is in the tank on that card, so it's got to be close. He does not have enough mana to drop another Connections and Gray Merchant and still sack the Mutavault.
Looks like he's digging.
He's going to draw. What was the card? It was a Pack Rat. All right.
Gives him a lot of chump blockers.
Yeah, I like that.
A lot of potential pressure.
Yeah, that's a good one. We can go there. I'm not sure what happened to the land that the Connections was on.
It's sort of floating around in limbo. It was tapped, but...
Is it on the screen?
It is ironically no longer connected to anything, but we can get that cleaned up pretty easily.
Oh man. All right. We'll go over to Nick. So, and it looks like Nick can just seal this up. He has enough removal spells, I think, just to clean up all these Pack Rats.
Well, he still has to worry about losing Devotion this turn, so that's another factor. You know, if Jeff has a removal spell in hand, then his board collapses, at least for this combat. So Nick may want to build up his Devotion count a little bit further here. So a couple different paths he can take.
Yeah, I mean, if he knew his hand, I think right now if he jams Banishing Light at the Pack Rat and then Devour Fleshes Jeff, I think he's good to go to win. Yeah. But I mean, that's, you know, he has to have the moxie to just make that play. And maybe in blind information, that's not the play you want to make. Maybe just start tapping Underworld Connections or something like that. But I think Double Kill Spell is going to be his route.
Devour Flesh is also pretty safe here to start things off because you don't even care if, you know, Jeff doesn't get any life off the Devour Flesh, so makes it a little more attractive than it otherwise would be.
Well, it depends if you want to. No, you're right. Yeah, it's just you'll probably get a Mutavault, I would imagine, with the Devour Flesh. You're gonna get a Mutavault no matter what you do.
Yeah.
We will see here. A little bit. He's going to go for Banishing Light. It looks like a little bit of a mistap there. He's going to take a pain when he doesn't really need to. I don't think that'll come back to get him. Yep, Banishing Light.
All right, I assume that Nick is going to be going after the Pack Rat here, but we'll find out momentarily. Can't imagine his Connections.
Yeah, what? Yeah, I think he's going to go after the. I would think he's because Jeff needs a Pack Rat to chump the Erebos, and he needs something to sack to the demon. Mm-hmm. So that's 2 creatures already gone, and if you Banishing Light and Devour Flesh, Jeff, that's 4 creatures, and that's going to be his Pack Rat, the Pack Rat he makes, and both his Mutavaults. So you're going to leave Jeff with a broken board state once again.
Yep. The issue here, if you're in Nick's side, and why he needs to be a little careful here, is if he does all this stuff to induce all these blockers, and then Jeff goes, okay, Dark Betrayal, your Desecration Demon, you can't attack. You worry now that the ball is back in Jeff's court to start being proactive.
They just like untaps and
starts doing
kills
things.
You, actually. Yeah. Could be close to it.
So even though Nick looks way ahead here, this is still a dangerous board. I mean, things could go wrong for him here.
Yeah, all right. In response to that Vanishing Light, he's going to make a Pack Rat token. And Banishing Light will resolve. It's going to go and take care of that Pack Rat. Now, if you're Nick, do you keep going?
Yeah, I think at this point, if nothing else, Jeff's body language is not that of a person with something of...
Like Dark Betrayal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm in Nick's seat and Jeff has Dark Betrayal here, I'm blown away.
Well, did he have a chance to play Dark Betrayal last turn when the Desecration Demon was made?
I don't recall if there was mana up or not, but it's still, you know, if you're in Nick's spot, you just had to guess this is good.
Yep. So a Mutavault is sacked to the Demon, and then he's going to kill him with Erebos, and that'll be it. So Nick Marriott at 9-1 with Black-White mid-range. He grabs your last spot in the top 8, and I believe that should set our top 8 for us.
Yeah, now, again, remember, for those of you who are coming to the broadcast here a little late who are used to the Open Series, we've changed how we structured these. We're going to be playing the entirety of the elimination rounds tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. So we're not going to be here for the quarterfinals, but we'll have deck lists, standings, our top 8, all that's going to be posted on Twitter and on StarCityGames.com tonight.